And when we come to nursing, that's breastfeeding whilst fasting or fasting whilst breastfeeding, we know that there are 3 stages of breastfeeding. The first stage is the newborn stage. That is when you just gave birth. Right away, when you just gave birth, and you need to exclusively breastfeed your baby. It is highly recommended practice in Islam. It is also highly recommended practice in the science. Evidently, there are a lot of research that talks about the importance and the health benefits of exclusively breastfeeding. It's not only that, but in Islam, we know that exclusively breastfeeding is a highly recommended practice. It is mentioned in the Quran, as well as our prophet also mentions that, right? So very important. If you just gave birth and you have to exclusively breastfeed, your baby depends on your breast milk. That's the major source of nutrition, or that is the only source of nutrition of your baby. So from 0 day to 6 months, that is the only source of nutrition of your baby. So if you are exclusively breastfeeding and you are fasting at that same time, you want to be able to also ask yourself those questions. What was your nutrition before you had the baby? What was your hydration levels before you had your baby? If those questions are not answered yes, then you have to also question yourself, because definitely it is not recommended. I wouldn't recommend my clients to fast when they are in the newborn stage, because there's a lot of stress that comes with it. There's the waking up in the morning, the waking up at night for the cluster feeding. There is like changing the diaper. There is you trying to get a routine. There is the baby also maybe not being able to latch, and you, both of you, are learning on how to nurse. You are learning on how to nurse your baby, and your baby is also learning on how to latch properly. So there's a lot of things that go on, and it's very important that you also pay attention to your hydration. You also pay attention to your healing and your recovery, especially if you had a C-section. You need to heal. What do you need for fast healing? Nutrition. You need good nutrition to fast heal, right? Even when you birth your baby through the birth canal, you still need good nutrition to heal faster and recover, and also make abundant breast milk for your baby. So very newborn baby, it is very also dicey that you have to pay attention and ask yourself those questions, and not jump into making a decision that not be helpful for you in the future or for your baby in the future. But the decision is up to you. Okay, the decision is up to you. And then the second stage of nursing, the second stage of breastfeeding, is the stage of complementary food. That is from the 6 months upwards, from the 6 months to maybe a year. You add some complementary foods, right? It's not exclusively breastfeeding anymore. It is you breastfeeding and then start salads. Maybe you start salads, or you start puree foods, or you start giving your baby maybe a little bit of stuff that might introduce your baby to food. So the baby is not really is breastfeeding, but you are complementing the baby's feed. So that is from 6 months to maybe a year. So that time, some of the ulama says at that time you can decide whether you want to fast or you don't want to fast. So at that time, your baby is able to eat. The baby has already been introduced to food. So your baby is not heavily breastfeeding on your milk. He's not exclusively breastfeeding. He's not using your breast milk as the main source of nutrition. So at that time, when you are fasting, the fasting window in the day, you can choose not to breastfeed, or you can choose to pump, or you can choose to breastfeed not as frequently, and then supplement with food, some solid food. Or if you can decide whether you want to supplement with formula or you want to just pump and supplement your baby with it, it's fine. So at that time, fasting has started to begin to be sort of obligatory on you. If your baby have started to eat, then your fasting have started to be obligatory on you. You have to start getting ready to fast. And then the third stage is from 1 year to 2 years. So from 1 year, your baby is now maybe fully on solids or 80% on solids. He's not fully dependent on your breast milk. So he's using your breast milk as a supplement, and then the food is now the main nutrition. So that is when you must fast, and it's obligatory. Okay, so that is what the ulama says, and that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense, because when you are supplementing, you know that your baby can eat the food. You can give your baby fruits, vegetables, cooked fruits, puree food, solid foods, or you can even cook your meal, your main meal, and serve it to your baby, and your baby is okay with it. It can eat during the day when you are fasting, during the fasting hours. Yes, then that's the time that you also can have a breather and fast, right? So after the iftar, then you can breastfeed your baby and make sure that you push some nutrition to yourself. When it's suhoor, you push some nutrition to yourself. You breastfeed your baby as well. Make sure that you breastfeed him before suhoor ends. And then if suhoor ends, the baby starts to depend on the solid food, on the food that you're gonna serve him or her until iftar. So that is the idea. That is the idea, and that is the best. I think that's the best, and that makes a lot of sense. For me, that's what I did when I had my twin girls. The first 4 months, I exclusively breastfed them. It was only breast milk. And then when we got to the 5th month, I supplemented. I started supplementing with food and with formula, a little bit of formula, because they were 2. So I was in school at that time doing my graduate education. So it was kind of a little bit of busy for me. And yeah, I need to do that. And that's okay. It's totally okay. Allah knows and Allah understands. And that's why He has not made it obligatory on us. Okay. So don't be too hard on yourself. Okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. And if you need to fast, make the decision and fast. That's your decision. If you don't need to fast, you feel like you are doubtful, that's your decision too. And that's okay. And a lot of women would say that because they don't want to miss the fast, and then when they are ready to fast, when they are not breastfeeding or when they are not pregnant, they find it difficult to fast all by themselves and make up all those fasts. That's valid, but and then missing out on the Ramadan energy and Ramadan environment and vibes. That's valid, yes, but again, you have to pay attention and be truthful to yourself, as in you are in the childbearing age. So what are you doing to get ready for your baby? What are you doing to get ready for your body? Because you cannot just give yourself to rearing a baby and being pregnant and breastfeeding and taking all the nutrients away for the babies. No, you also have to store some stuff for yourself. When you finish giving birth, you have to be healthy. You have to look healthy and look like human, right? And we also know that once you give birth or you are pregnant, they say that the gray matter on our brain, there's a gray matter on our brain. There is brain fog. There is a whole lot of stuff. That's why we have postpartum is difficult. A lot of people experience difficult postpartum. They don't heal properly, and there is hair loss, and there is like you going crazy, but you are not crazy, because a lot of the times it's because of the nutrition. Some maybe some part of it is because of the nutrition. We don't really eat enough, and pregnancy takes away a lot from us. Breastfeeding takes away a lot from us. Birth itself takes away a lot from us. If you had C-section, it takes even more from us. So it's very, very tasking. So all of those things, if we put them together, that's a lot. That is a lot. So you can decide, put all of those things and decide if fasting is good, it's appropriate for you. If it is not, just leave it, and then get a support group after nursing your baby. Get a support group. If you don't get a support group, create a support group yourself, and then start support group of women who have fasting to make up. And if you are interested in it, I can join together with you and we can do it. Anybody who is interested, let me know in the comment section and we can create something beautiful like that. Okay, so support group of sisters who have had babies, or who were pregnant, or who are nursing their babies and are not able to fast. So you join together and you calculate how many times you make, maybe a planner on how you want to make up those fasts, and how you want, whatever you, even your nutrition that you'll be eating whilst you are fasting. It's gonna be like something beautiful. So if you think about that, that is very important, and that is your decision as well. I have listened to an audiobook. Actually, I have not finished listening to it. I started and I have not finished. It's a very interesting book. It talks about the postpartum period, the postpartum depression. Now that we hear a lot of postpartum depression and stuff like that because of the nutrition. A lot of women, we find ourselves doing the child rearing all by ourselves, and we are not able to like eat the way we're supposed to eat. The stress is too much. We do all the chores by ourselves, the kitchen chores, the taking care of the children, and all of those things. They are all energy draining. They are all nutrient depleting. And when we give birth, it's like a lot of people go through mood swings, baby blues, postpartum depression, perinatal disorders, and all of that. Allah forbid. May Allah make it easy for anybody who is going through that. May Allah make it easy for even anybody who shows signs of that, not going through that yet. Allah should heal and give them shifa. If you decide to fast when you are nursing, there are some things that you have to pay attention to, because dehydration is very real and is very serious matter, because we know that breast milk is full of water. So you need to really hydrate yourself. Already fasting is water demanding. We really need to hydrate ourselves even when we are not breastfeeding. But when you find yourself breastfeeding, you have to pay attention to your hydration. Not only drinking water. Make sure that the water that you are drinking has a lot of electrolytes in it. So you don't have to go and buy like fancy electrolyte water. If you want to, it's fine, and you have the means to do that, it's accessible to you, it's totally fine. But for those of us, or for those of you who are not able to go and get special electrolyte water, what do? You make sure that you drink water that has electrolyte. What are the liquids that have electrolyte? That's soup. You make sure soups are available to you every day after suhoor, or before suhoor or in between suhoor, or soups are available that you munch on it during iftar. When you have your fruits and vegetables and you go for your Maghrib prayer, you come back and you have your meal, make sure that you have soups as well. And then some people also like smoothies, okay? So for me, in the morning, I am split on smoothies. When it's too cold, the weather is too cold, smoothies is not a good idea. Soups are excellent because it's warm. And then iftar is going to be smoothie. So that's how you can do it, because smoothie has a lot of nutrition in it. And make sure that when you are making the smoothie, you don't add a lot of fruits. You add more vegetables instead. I have made a live 3 days ago about how you can prep for your smoothies as easy as it can be, so that you don't have to get up every day prepping your vegetables and your fruits before you make your smoothie. You prep it and you put it in the Ziploc bag that is freezer friendly, and you put it in your freezer. When you are ready, you bring it out, you put it in the blender, blend it, broom, broom, broom. You have yourself something beautiful that is full of nutrition and hydration, and it's gonna keep you full, and it's gonna help you to keep being sane and alive, right? And keep making the good nutrient dense milk for your baby. So that I will link it down in the description box below, and if you are interested also, you can check my video tab and get that. So pay attention to your nutrition. Dehydration is very, 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 very serious. You don't want to be dehydrated. And some of the signs that you can look out for when you start to feel like you are dehydrated is brain fog. So you feel like you can't think right. Your mind is going hera, hera, hera like that. Then you have to just sit and pay attention. Are you going to break your fast, or are you going to continue with it? At that time, make a very critical decision whether you want to break that fast if you are fasting, or you want to continue with it. Maybe it's iftar is very close. And then when your urine is too yellow, like it is very yellow, and when you go to the bathroom, it's like very teeny tiny bit of urine that comes, and it's very yellow, that is a sign of dehydration as well. So you want to really check on that. And when you do your iftar or you break your fast, you make sure that you drink water, you take soups, and you drink broth if you are somebody who likes broth. You make smoothie like this one I made, the watermelon drink. Is only watermelon and some mint and some ginger and dates and coconut water. So some people don't find the taste of coconut water desirable. So you put the coconut water. Coconut water is very high in potassium. It is very high in magnesium. It is very high in minerals that are hydrating. So you want to add the coconut water, not just water. And then also watermelon has a lot of water in it, and it's a sunnah food. It's prophetic inspired, so it's even a plus. So you make it and you blend it, and it's like a drink. You drink it when you are breastfeeding. Even if you are not fasting, this is a smart way to hydrate yourself and make yourself really pleasant.